Good morning, students. How are you? Are you all ready for today's class? Students, I hope you're all loving your family. Am I right? You all love your family. Who are all there in your family? Your father, mother, your siblings, your uncles, aunts, your grandparents, your cousins. Isn't it? There are two kinds of family as we all know, nuclear family and joint family. What do you like the most? Do you like a nuclear family or a joint family? I personally prefer joint family. In a joint family, there are more than 10 or 15 members will be there. Before 50 years or before 100 years, joint family contains more than 50 members. More than 80 members are there. They all will live in a mansion, in a house. So that's what called joint family. But today, as we are running behind money and in this technological advancements, we have no time to spend with our relatives. And so we are living in a nuclear family. And can you count how many members are there in your family? Is it a one-digit number or a two-digit number? Do your grandparents are with you? No? Some of your grandparents are there with you. Some of you may not, isn't it? Do your grandparents tell you stories? Fantastic and fantabulous stories do they tell you? So you all like grandparents, isn't it? A family is one of the most precious gift God has given to us. Just think about the street children. How do they dress? What do they eat? With whom do they play? And to whom they ask help for? Have you ever think about those street children? How do they take medicine if one of the street children's nearby your street maybe, if they are suffering from fever, cold or cough, how do they get medicine? Have you ever think about those street children? God has blessed us with a precious family, isn't it? So you have to think about those people who are in need. Just imagine about the street children. How do they get education? Where they will sleep? What they will eat? Have you ever think of that? Then think about the orphans. So how precious our family is. Today we are going to learn something about a family. It's not a nuclear family, but it's a joint family. There are number of people, relatives are there in that house. It is not a family with a mother, father or two children. It's a family with 5 or 6 grandparents, 20 to 25 uncles and aunts, more than 30, 40 cousins, brothers, sisters, nephews, nieces. They are all living in a single family, as in a single mansion. Today, we are going to learn about something about such a family. Are you all ready? Students, we have already learned more about Rabindranath Tagore, isn't it? Who is he? He is a freedom fighter as well as a famous poet. This is what we know. And now I am telling you that he is not written so many essays, letters. He has written so many prose pieces also. He has written famous novels, memoir, letters, drama, plays. What is a memoir? Have you all heard about the word memoir? Memoir is nothing but writing or telling the events which happened in one's own life. If I am writing something about, I am writing an incident which happened in my own life. If I am writing those incidents by my own, that is a memoir. It is a collection of memories. Collection of memories which are written by oneself. If I am narrating about myself, that is called a memoir. So Tagore has written memoirs, letters, dramas, novels, and also poetry. He is a multi-talented person, and he has written a book called My Reminiscence. What is a reminiscence? A reminiscence is recollecting the memories which happened in our own life. It's like recalling the memories, recalling the past. In this My Reminiscence, Tagore has recalled, he recollected his childhood memories. Now you're all child, isn't it? You're all children. But when you grew old, when you attained 25, 30, 40, then you know how precious your childhood days is. So Tagore, in his work My Reminiscence, he has written more about his childhood experience, how he spent his days with his friends, with his family, in his house as well as in his grandma's house. So all these childhood memories are the everlasting memories in the life of every person. So he is recollecting those childhood memories in his work My Reminiscence. And our lesson, My Home Environment, is taken from his book My Reminiscence. This My Reminiscence was published in the year 1911. My Reminiscence is a book which is published in the year 1911, from which our lesson is taken from. What is the title of our lesson? My Home Environment. Okay, who is the writer? Rabindranath Tagore. Tagore begins this story by explaining about his home atmosphere. He is saying that literally he loved the atmosphere, he loved the structure of his house. In olden days, he is from Bengal, isn't it? The structure of every house in each places is different. The structure of house which are in Tamil Nadu is different from Kerala. And the home structure of Kerala is different from Delhi or from Nagaland, from Manipur. And the home structure of Shillong is completely different from Kashmir. So each place comprises of its own culture, its own tradition. Just think about the food. The food we eat here is different from the people who are eating there in north, in west, in east, isn't it? So each place has its own culture, its own tradition and belief. Each religion is having its own culture, its own religious beliefs, isn't it? Similarly, in Tamil Nadu we have so many cultural values and traditions. And the food we eat, the dress we wore, everything is different. So Tagore is explaining about the structure of his house, the ambience of his house. He is saying that the structure, the house completely, it looks like an artistic piece. And he is saying that every day evening he will lean from the veranda railing. Children usually do in the evening time, they will look down looking at the visitors. And he is saying that he will sit in the veranda in the dim light and is watching the people, watching the visitors who are coming and going. And he is saying that the distance between this veranda and that reception room is not very much long. And he is now saying, now I am a grown-up person. Now if you read about this, you may not think that it's a big deal. Just standing in the veranda and looking at the people there, it's just a common thing. But he is saying that as a child, it's a very big thing for me. He will sit in the veranda in the dim light and is watching the people who are coming and going. That is a big deal for him. That's not a small, that's not a silly matter. That's a big issue. That's a big incident in his life. Because the childhood experience, Tagore is enjoying the childhood experience now. I don't know whether he enjoyed the childhood experience when he was a child, but now he is a grown-up. Now he is enjoying, he is recalling all those past incidents and now he is enjoying. So, how he began? Tagore is saying that he is first admiring at the structure of his house. He loved the artistic structure of his house and he is saying that just opposite to the veranda we have a reception room. It's a detached building. So, usually every evening Tagore will stand in the veranda railing and is leaning and is looking at the entrance, looking at the portico who are all coming and going, and he will watch it in the dim light. He also says that everyday evening our home servants, they will light up those reception rooms. Now I am asking you a question. Do visitors come to your house every day? At least once in a year do your relatives visit you? No? Sometimes you may say yes. Once upon a time, people lived in a good, friendly manner. The neighbors are very good and people visit their family members every day. Or not only the family members, some other visitors will come to our house every day. But today, what is the condition? Nobody will come to our house. Nobody will visit our house. We are not ready to visit our relatives' house. Isn't it? Because we are all busy in our day-to-day works. We have to go to school, we have to work, we have so many works to do. We are running behind money, we are running behind luxury, but we forget everything about the relatives or family members. Those social values are decreasing day by day. Are we ready to visit our relatives at least once in a month? At least make a call to our relatives? No. We are busy. We are running behind money and we are running behind these scientific advancements. But once upon a time, people enjoy their life. Now we are not enjoying our life. We are just living. That's all. But once people enjoy their life, they respect their relatives. Every day they will visit their neighbors, their family members. Somebody will come to everybody's house. But today, the matter has changed completely, isn't it? Why is it happening? Have you ever think of it? So shall I give you an assignment, a homework? Each one of you should take a paper and just draw a family tree. And that family tree is not about your small family. You should not just mention your father's name, mother's name, your sibling's name and your name. You have to draw a big family tree, which means your father's parents' name, your mother's parents' name, and your father's siblings, your mother's siblings, then your siblings. Or else we can plan for a little bigger. Just first start with your great grandparents, then come to your grandparents, then their siblings, then your parents, their siblings, then yourself and your siblings. Will you all do it, students? So what you will do today? Just draw a family tree. You may not know your parents' siblings' name or your grandparents' siblings' name. Just ask your parents and write it down. Okay, is that clear? Then you know how many relatives are there for you today. Okay, you just ask your parents and write down their siblings' name, their uncle's, aunt's name, everything. Just try to draw a big family tree for your family, and if possible, just take a pic and send it to me. Okay? Students, do you remember what we have learned as grammar portion in our first lesson? Very good. Noun phrase and noun clause, isn't it? What is a noun phrase? Noun phrase is a group of words which does the work of a noun. If a phrase is doing the work of a noun, then it is called as noun phrase. For example, I like black and white movies. Here, movies is a noun and we are adding now black, white. Here it's a group of words which is doing the work of a noun. So, black and white movies is a phrase which is doing the work of a noun, and so it's a noun phrase. I like black and white movies. Black and white movies is noun phrase. What is a noun clause? Noun clause is a group of words. It is a subordinate clause. Okay. So how the subordinate clause begins? It begins with whatever, who, whoever, then, when, that, isn't it? So it is a subordinate clause. A clause which is doing the work of a noun, then it is called a noun clause. Let me tell you an example. The girl who won the first prize is my sister. The girl who won the first prize is my sister. Here, who won the first prize is my sister. It's a dependent clause. It's a subordinate clause, isn't it? This clause is doing the work of a noun. And so, a clause which is doing the work of a noun is called as noun clause. A phrase which is doing the work of a noun is called noun phrase. So, this is what we have seen in the first lesson as our grammar portion, isn't it? Noun phrase and noun clause. In this lesson, we are learning about adjective phrase and adjective clauses. In the first lesson, we have learned noun phrase and noun clause. Today, we are about to learn adjective clause and adjective phrase. Are you all ready? What is an adjective? An adjective is a word that describes a noun or a pronoun, isn't it? Adjectives usually describe the noun or a pronoun. For example, Ammu is an intelligent girl. Ammu is a girl. Here, intelligence is a word which is describing something about the noun. So, such words are adjectives. Adjectives are just description of a noun or a pronoun, isn't it? So, what is an adjective phrase? A phrase that is describing a noun or a pronoun, then it is called adjective phrase. Adjective clause, a clause that is describing a noun or a pronoun, then it is called as adjective clause. Now let me tell you an example. Ammu is an intelligent girl. Ammu is an intelligent girl. Here we are describing the noun, isn't it? Just look at this. Ammu is a girl with intelligence. Here we are using a group of words. We have used two words, isn't it? It's a group of words. It's a phrase. So this phrase is describing the noun, isn't it? And so it is an adjective phrase. If a phrase is describing a noun, then it is called as adjective phrase. If a clause is describing a noun or a pronoun, then it is called as adjective clause. Look at this example. Sachin is a smart, handsome and intelligent boy. Sachin is a smart, handsome and intelligent boy. Here we are describing about Sachin, isn't it? Here we are adding so many description about the person. And so these are the phrases. We are adding these phrases. These phrases are describing the noun. What is a noun? It's a naming word. So these phrases, this group of words are describing the noun, and so it is called as adjective phrase. We love the taste of sweet, juicy mango. We love the taste of sweet, juicy mango. Here we are adding sweet, juicy. These are words. It is considered as a phrase, isn't it? These phrases are describing the noun. And such phrases are called as adjective phrase. So what is an adjective phrase? A phrase which is describing about a noun, then it is called as adjective phrase. For example, this is a village. This is a village. Here I am adding some descriptions to the village. Students, what is an adjective phrase? A phrase which describes a noun or a pronoun, then it is called as adjective phrase. Now let's see what is an adjective clause. What is an adjective clause? A clause which is describing a noun or a pronoun, then it is called as adjective clause. Now look at these examples. This is a village. It's an ordinary sentence, isn't it? This is a village. We are describing the village now. This is a beautiful village. Now we are adding an adjective, isn't it? This is a beautiful village. Next, we are adding something more. We are describing the village more. This is a clean and beautiful village. At first we are saying that this is a village. Now this is a beautiful village. This is a clean and beautiful village. So these are words. These are phrases which are describing the noun village, isn't it? And such phrases which are describing a noun or a pronoun, then it is called as adjective phrase. Now come to this example. This is a clean and beautiful village in which I spend my summer holidays. We are describing more about the village in which I have spent my summer holidays is a clause, isn't it? This is a clause. So this clause is explaining more about the village, more about the noun. And so this is an adjective clause. If a clause is describing more about a noun, then it is called adjective clause. If a phrase is saying something more about a noun, then it is called as adjective phrase. Can you understand, students? Students, just look at this sentence. This is a clean and beautiful village. Here we are adding phrase. and so it is a adjective phrase. Look at this sentence. This is the village which is clean and beautiful. Here, this is a clause, isn't it? So this clause is describing something about the village and so it is an adjective clause. So if a clause is describing about a noun or a pronoun, then it is called as adjective clause. If a phrase is describing a noun or a pronoun, then it is an adjective phrase. I hope you all have understood about adjective phrase and clause. Students, I hope you have understood everything we learned today. See you all